Hello, it's John from the Vanishing Nomad channel here. So I was going through some computer files and I found some video that I had originally shot on my cell phone. Oh, it's got to be a couple years ago. Obviously, it was before I was hurt. So I thought I'd slap it together and get it edited and uploaded for you. This is me showing or trying to show as good as a cell phone video will do. Some of my configurations for a garbage bag shelter. I'll start the video in the middle of the hike in. I'm going to chop out all that other stuff because it's probably too boring as it is. But without further ado, enjoy the video. Alright, I just stumbled out on my path. I think this is the right trail. I don't know. I'm heading on a course of the whole course I'm headed on here. 320 degrees. Yeah, 320 degrees. So it is heading it's heading too far north. But the trail did that. It like winds. So if it starts turning more towards, thorns. If it starts turning more towards 240 and 200s on it is. I think this is my trail. I'm gonna keep following this one here. And then yeah, here we go. Here's what's left of it here, see? I don't know if you guys can see the tree that fell down over the path. That goes over that way, and we're at what? What the hell's our direction here? 270 degrees. Okay, this is the correct trail, so I'm gonna keep going down this way, and I'll get back to you in a little bit. Alright, so I always rest here, drink a little bit of water. Today the stream here is completely dry. So obviously I'm not going to be gathering fresh water. I'm going to be going for my canteen. I'm pretty deep in the woods now. Probably 5 miles from my truck. Maybe if I could shortcut, I could be a little closer. If I could go in a straight line, but I can't because the terrain will not let me go in a straight line. I cannot make camp right here because it is a dried stream bed. So rather than making camp where I'm at, I'm going to go up this hill a ways and find a nice little dry spot in a little bit when I'm done resting and relaxing. So when we get there, I'm going to set up my garbage bag shelter, and then I'm going to make a little bit of a fire. And it's pretty warm out. The ground still seems pretty warm from summertime, so I don't know if I'm going to need to make a leaf bed or not. I have to lay down on the ground and feel how much heat is getting sucked out of my body. I may be able to just lay down on it, but if not, there's plenty of leaves here, and I'll just make a leaf pile underneath my garbage bag shelter. I might fill one of the garbage bags with leaves. I might just try and set up over an area that's sort of indented a little bit so the leaves don't fall out on it. I'll come up with something. Alright, see you in a bit. Alright guys, I'm out here. I'm kind of setting camp up. So it's setting up a 55-gallon drum liner, or 55-gallon garbage bag shelter here. And you can see what I did is I strung my garbage bags between two trees, and I've got a couple of tie-out stakes in the back here, and just to hold it down, I threw a log on the bottom here. Alright guys, get some of this crap out of the way here. I just jammed my cell phone up against the log here. I'm gonna light my fire. I went into my shelter here and I laid in it for a little while, and I do not feel the ground, sucking the heat from my body. So that means that I can sleep in it as is. But like I said before, if I felt that it was, I would fill this whole section with leaves and put this garbage bag on top of the leaves. It's very important that you isolate yourself from the leaves for two reasons. One, if it's damp conditions, you don't want those wet leaves soaking into your clothes and making you cold. And two, there's a lot of deer ticks and various types of insects in this area, and I know the ticks here do carry Lyme disease, so I don't want to be sleeping directly in a pile of leaves and get all full of ticks. So this is, by putting the second garbage bag down on top of that, that's my protection. So let's get my fire going here. My tinder bundle material. I'm going to set it on my garbage bag so it doesn't get wet off the ground. Pull my favorite fire starter out here. Alright, this leather pad here is 6 inches by 6 inches. I completely impregnated it with beeswax, and that makes it waterproof, so I can isolate my tinder bundle off the ground in case the ground is damp. I'll take my fluff, my cattail fluff there. Make my bird's nest. Now, your cattail fluff is not going to catch on fire. Well, it will, but it won't burn for too long. But it will catch an ember that'll smolder, so that I'll be able to blow this into flame like a regular bow drill fire if need be. Not quite. Alright, you can see my fire's starting to grow here, so let's gonna get into my shelter. And this will keep me super nice and warm. I keep this fire going like this. You know, if I throw my hoodie on here, I should be able to sleep in the freezing temperatures, no problem. Yeah, as soon as some of these twigs burn up, this is going to collapse in on itself, and it'll become a smaller, more manageable fire we can cook off of. Oh man, it's getting hot in here already. Now, of course, my mission today is to take a nap in my little structure here, now that it's set up. I'm gonna my line loosened up a little bit here, so I'm gonna tighten that. But other than that, this is going pretty good. There it is. It's getting ready to collapse. You know, once I get those coals going, it'll be easy to tend for the rest of the night. I've got some big stuff I can throw on there, little stuff. It's all good. The initial phase of the fire here is to create the coal bed. It's not the actual fire I'm going to warm myself. Once the coal bed is created, then everything I throw on top of it is going to be what keeps me warm for the night. Okay, I'm all snuggled up underneath my shelter here, as you can see. And what I'm doing here is I'm inside the bottom garbage bag. And what this allows me to do is protect myself from water coming in sideways from out here. It also helps trap heat in colder weather, and by being inside the bag rather than under it, I'm still isolated from the ground down here. So this gives me a complete encapsulated shelter that'll keep me warm and dry down to some pretty cold temperatures. Now, obviously, it's going to be difficult to maintain the fire at this point, so however, I would be in the bag if it was like really storming out, and there wouldn't be a fire anyway. So what I would do is I would huddle up underneath my hoodie, pull the bag over my head, and go to sleep. Now, in colder weather, you're going to have a problem with condensation inside the bag. You're going to sweat. It's going to condense on the outside of the bag and drip back down onto you and get you damp. In situations like that, what I do is I start cutting holes along the top part of the bag underneath my canopy. All right, so this side out here, I want to say waterproof. The other side behind me is where I'm going to cut my slots. I might cut 6 or 8 slots along the backside with my knife, and that should give me some breathability. I've still had condensation problems anyway, but
it does help out, and the truth of the matter is you're going to be suffering no matter what you do if you're using a shelter like this and you really got caught with your pants down. The other thing you could do is you can configure you can cut the other bag open the same way you cut the top bag, and then there's a way of interlacing it kind of like a shingle in with your top piece, your top canopy, and then folding it down inside so where you could sleep off the ground, but it's protecting you from the rain coming in from the front. And that'll be next time I do one of these videos on one of my garbage bag shelter videos, I will probably show that setup. And that pretty much solves the condensation problem. It does give you a barrier from the heat from your fire, so it's not quite as warm you don't get as much heat from your fire that way. However, if you have a thermal blanket with you, you can layer that in there as well, and then that'll trap your body heat, and that compensates for it. So, a lot of different ways of using our garbage bag fires, and I'm going to be covering them one at a time, and hopefully I'll eventually turn this into a nice big long hour-long YouTube video devoted strictly to garbage bag shelters. Alright, what I'm going to do is show you the second configuration here that I use when I'm worried about condensation building up, so I don't want to go actually in the bag. What I do is I cut my second bag open, the same as the first, as you can see here, just like this. And then I stuff it inside, and then I can climb in through the end here, and it gives me a little, just enough to lay on to protect me from the rain coming in from the rain that's coming in from this end here, from the open end. And it still allows me a little bit to keep me isolated from the water coming in off the ground if the ground is getting saturated, or if I have to put a pile of leaves in here, and this will allow me to sleep on top of my leaves rather than in them. What I do on the top is I use my finger point tie-outs, and I overlap it the width of my hand, so I have a shingling effect. So the rain coming this way rolls down like this rather than up and inside of here. If I have a lot of wind and it's flopping, what I would do is I could just put another finger point tie out here, another one here, another one there, and another one over there, and then that will hold this in place. Some people might want to just grab duct tape and use duct tape. However, that works as well. I don't generally carry duct tape. I like to do everything with my number 36 Mason line. So, from a distance, this here is what our garbage bag shelter looks like with my second configuration. Again, this takes a little longer to set up, and usually the garbage bag shelter is deployed when you're under pressure. You got caught with your pants down, weather's coming in, and you were a little unprepared. Maybe you went out on a scout from your main camp and you got lost, and you had to slap this together really quick. It's basically a quick throw together kind of shelter designed to keep you alive and get you through the night, so you can either get help in the morning or get back to your camp. Alright, I'm inside my double garbage bag setup here. As you can see, this is the underside here, so we're nice and sealed. You have to really open up so you're not going to get water coming in this way because of the sheltering effect. And again, you can use your finger point. Here's the bottom of my finger point tie out. Where the hell was it? There. This is the bottom of my finger point tie out. This is what they look like on the inside. And over here, as you can see how this is open, well, maybe we have a really bad storm and rain is coming in all over the fucking place. Okay, what you would do is you would have to deal with your feet getting wet back here, just because there isn't enough material to really do it, which is going to suck. But if you put your shoes and if you've got your wool socks and everything on there, really warm. Plus, you can also put your fire on that end too, and that would help if it's cold. I mean, obviously, if it's raining, you're fucked. But you can take your finger point tie outs, and you can zip it together here and down here. And what that'll do is that will allow you to close this end up like this and have a little bit more waterproofing. Now, the key to doing this correctly is to make sure that the bottom is underneath, like so, and the top, and the other is on the top, and that will give you the shingling effect to keep the water from pouring in and filling this. Otherwise, all this is going to puddle up. If the rain is not too bad, but it's still coming in sideways, you can always roll this like this, and that will also help keep the water from coming in and puddling up on you. And then on this end here, you can see water will tend to come in and roll down on the outside if you fold it in like that. See how this is? If it's out like this, you can be alright. It may not necessarily be a problem, but if it is a problem, you have to pull it under, just like that. And again, you could just jam a finger point tie out right there, or like I've done in the past, I just stuff this under my shoulder. Kind of control your moisture. And again, I don't know if you can see this here. I'm rolling on it. You can also clamp it between your head and your pillow, which in my case is my canteen here. And this will help keep you dry in a storm. But again, you don't want to get caught with your pants down in the first place. The garbage bag shelter concept is for emergencies. I prefer to not have to cut the bottom bag apart if I absolutely can. But sometimes you just have to if you're in a situation where your body moisture is going to start frosting or condensing along the top of your inside of your bag and then raining down inside you and getting you soaked. You don't want that, especially in cooler temperatures, because you'll get hypothermia. Alright guys, so that's my those are a couple configurations for my garbage bag shelters. I know it's a big pain in the ass and it's kind of hard to kind of grasp everything that I'm trying to show. So eventually what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my little high-def cameras. These are the ones I've been shooting my more recent videos with. Awesome little freaking cameras. So I'll grab a couple of these. I have 2 of them. And I'll reshoot all this stuff. And hopefully you'll get a better idea when I do that. But it's, that's kind of a ways away. I got a whole bunch of video to edit and get up first. In the meantime, I think you guys ought to get out there and practice your skills and get some videos of your own. So, I'll see you in the woods.